Black was a noteworthy duelist, capable of complex and powerful magic. While there is no definitive description of Sirius's wand, I would say his core was made of dragon heartstring with wood of red oak. Wands with dragon heartstring were noted for their flamboyant and powerful magic, a perfect match for a wizard like Black. Red oak was distinguished by its hot temper, used by witches and wizards with quick wits and a fancy for dueling, running directly in line with Sirius. Before graduating from Hogwarts, Black already had several magical achievements under his belt. With the help of his friends, he created the Marauders map, a map that kept tabs on anyone who stepped into Hogwarts, even those supposed dead. The creation of the map was highly complicated, and even an adult wizard would be hard-pressed to recreate it. Sirius would do this when he was 15. Furthermore, he was able to transfigure himself as an animagus. In response to Remus Lupin, one of his best friends that happened to be a werewolf, he and his friends taught themselves how to transform from their human forms to an animal one. Sirius would choose a big black dog, capable of keeping a werewolf at bay. As an adult, he would still be marked by his magical prowess, especially in terms of his dueling abilities. His former teacher, Professor McGonagall, noted him as a powerful wizard, and for good reason. He was adept at non-verbal magic, an advanced form of spellcasting. He was also excellent at disarming charms, and he was superb in his combative speed. But his haughtiness would be his greatest downfall. While he was able to defeat Lucius Malfoy and Antonin Dolohov, his recklessness against Bellatrix Lestrange would be a fatal mistake. There is no question, Sirius Black was a top-notch duelist, using deft wand flourishes with a powerful output. He could take on even the best of the Death Eaters, but ultimately, it would be his own conceit that would be his greatest weakness. As an accomplished Auror, Alastor Moody would be renowned for his dueling expertise. Like the rest of his background, there is not much information on his wand type, but as an educated guess, I would say he also used dragon heartstring for powerful magic against the dark arts. The wood of his wand would probably be a blackthorn wood, common amongst magical law enforcement. This wood became all the more powerful when it went through hardship with its owner, running in line with Moody's profession. During his time at Hogwarts, he would exceed expectations not only in defense against the dark arts, but in every single subject. This would make him not only a great dedicated duelist, but a versatile one. It would lead him to triumph over dozens of Death Eaters during the First Wizarding War. What's even more impressive is that he made a special note not to inflict fatal injury to his foes, instead taking them alive, utilizing defensive and offensive spell work to subdue his foes. This would take greater discipline and skill than that of his Death Eater contemporaries who aimed to kill. What's more, Moody, as well as the other officers of the Ministry, were allowed to use the unforgivable curses. First was the Imperious Curse, which allowed the caster to control the opponent like a puppet. Second was the Cruciatus Curse, which shocked one's foe with impossibly unbearable pain. And finally, the Killing Curse. One quick flick of the wrist, and your enemy would fall, dead before they hit the ground. These curses were not only devastating, but exceedingly difficult to master. Mad-Eye was capable of utilizing all three. However, his time in retirement may have dampened his skills. In 1994, he was kidnapped by two Death Eaters, Barty Crouch Jr. and Peter Pettigrew. During the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, he was subdued by Antonin Dolohov. Still, Voldemort and his contemporaries still held Moody in high regard. During the battle over London, Voldemort attacked Moody first due to the perception that he was the most powerful wizard of the group. However, I believe this was based solely on perception. He was so noteworthy for his time as an Auror that no one really thought that his skills could have dissipated. But to me, they most certainly did. This does not make Mad-Eye useless in a fight, don't get me wrong, but he is certainly rusty, not as strong or quick-witted as he once was. Yet, his experience would always be a factor in a dueling scenario. Next to Dumbledore, Mad-Eye Moody was one of the most feared individuals amongst the Death Eaters. This round is going to be the toughest one to call. Alastor Moody was an accomplished officer, noted for being a Death Eater's worst nightmare. But during the events of the Second Wizarding War, his abilities diminished. Sirius, on the other hand, fought the same Death Eaters with the same speed of an obviously younger man, contending and outmatching most of his foes. But his own cockiness would ultimately get in the way. What Sirius had in raw talent, Moody had in aged knowledge. Whenever a matchup comes down to experience versus talent, I usually go with experience. But here, Moody has showcased that even his wisdom might not have been enough after his retirement. With that said, you can never discount one with practiced skill against one so reliant on a modest talent. For this reason, I marked both Sirius Black and Alastor Moody as equals in terms of their dueling abilities. The fight between Sirius Black and Alastor Moody would be a bout between the new and the old. Sirius was a fighter of the New War, burning bright at its start but flickering out very quickly. Moody was a warrior of the Old War, burning less bright but outlasting until the war's end. While Moody was in good health for someone his age, Sirius was simply more able-bodied. While Sirius's firecracker personality was overwhelming in a fight, Moody's constant vigilance would serve him well, and both Sirius and Moody were considerable duelists of their times. Let's set up this fight. Let's say it takes place in a clearing of the Forbidden Forest. As a final tally, I would say the advantage to the victor goes 6-10. The following is a hypothetical battle of one of the majority victories. The duelists would stand several paces away from each other. Running in line with Sirius's typical MO, he would attack first. The young wizard would attack with a flurry of spells and curses, attempting to off-balance the old man. But Moody would be ready, blocking and countering each spell, almost as though he knew what Sirius would attack with next. His decades of experience fighting tenacious fighters like Sirius would come into play, working his way through muscle memory more than talent. But Sirius's youth would eventually puncture through his staunch defense and counters. Sirius would seem near to victory, but as he gets closer and closer to disarming Moody, he leaves himself more open. Instead of watching out for Moody's counters, he begins favoring an overwhelming offensive effort. It is the opportunity Moody would wait for. Sirius would flick his wrist, his wand throwing out a curse aimed at Moody's face. Moody takes the hit, adding another scar to his already tattered face. But he would be prepared for the pain, tanking the torment. It was the window he needed. Sirius's offensive movements, his overly confident flourishes, would leave himself open to Alastor's counter. With a flick of his own wrist, Moody disarmed Sirius. Now, the young wizard was completely at his mercy. Without a blink of an eye, Moody waves his wand, stunning Sirius into unconsciousness. And thus, I declare Alastor Mad-Eye Moody the greatest Auror of his time, the battered but triumphant victor. Of course, this is all my opinion. Please leave your thoughts and comments below. Do you think that Sirius was talented enough to overcome Moody, or do you agree the old wizard could pull out a victory? And as always, peace, love, and mischief managed.
I only did what was necessary, and I truly do regret it.
Not only would a duel between Bellatrix Lestrange and Severus Snape be a fantastic and close matchup, but it would be very probable as well.
Alright, cool. So you're Hagrid, I am the boy who lived. So I cheated a little bit. I played last night just to see how to play.
As the best aura, as the best aura, as the best aura of his time, 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 aura, as the best aura of his time, as the best aura of his time, as the best aura of his time, as the best aura of his time. One of those has to work. Ugh. That was disgusting. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna put that at the end of the credits. And no one's gonna hear it except you. There's another one for you. Oh, I got another one. No, that's it. That's it. All right, bye.